right, guys, welcome. I'm doing a live podcasting inside the Mom is in Control Village group. So if you're not familiar, head on over to heatherchauvin.com. And at the top, you'll see where it says click here to join the Facebook group. And after our admin approves you, making sure you're not a robot or a spammer, you will join us in the Mom is in Control Village. So welcome. So you guys know who I am. I'm Heather Chauvin, and today is 2 days ago, I did my first TEDx talk. And the beauty of TED and TEDx is ideas worth sharing. So the whole concept is the people that are speaking, they don't necessarily have a business. They're not some Nobel Peace Prize winner. They're human beings who listened to a little desire inside of them that said, I want to share this message with the world. And there was 12 speakers. I was talking to one of the gentlemen, with the last speaker, and he was saying, we all have a story to share. And it was really, really inspiring because some went from, their own personal life stories to like mess to success or disease to, like physical freedom and all of these crazy things. And then there were stories of like, the effect of hugs and simple ideas and concepts that we totally take for granted every day, like gratitude and like water and all of these things. And the whole day I was just kept saying, yes, 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 because I think it's really important that we remember we are all extraordinary people. We are all destined for greatness. And we have to remember this. And there's no like magic to it. It's just reminding yourself that you are enough. You are magic. You were here, put on this earth to be fully self-expressed and to be yourself. And I truly believe that we're all just walking each other home. And that's kind of what I'm doing with, the Mom is in Control podcast and the clients that I work with in the Mastery program and my Soul Elite program. I'm just helping women kind of get through the muck. And, I've been there, I've done that, and I walk my talk, and I know what it feels like to have resistance in your body or to be sitting there with a child and going, oh my gosh, I can't do this, right? How can we? And so today we're talking about those stories, but I wanted to share a little diagram with you. And if you hear some like feet going in the background, it's my two dogs. And who knows what will happen there because they're just like children. But I wanted to share this diagram with you. And I spoke about this before on the podcast and how, there's different levels. These are the levels that I've personally gone through myself. These were the levels that I walk my clients through, but also how we get stuck in each level in our lives because of story, right? So I'm going to share this with you, and I'll try to verbalize it as well, because if you're not watching the video and you're not in the Facebook group, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. So let me see here. I believe you can see this now. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Okay. So what you see here is a diagram. There's, it used to be, last time I talked about this, it was a triangle, but I found a prettier little diagram. So we have circles. And what I like about the circles is the tiny circle I'll just say the tiny circle is survival mode. And then the next circle is a little bit bigger around survival mode. And that's the momentum phase. And then the next circle is a bigger circle around momentum, and that is the thrival state. And then the biggest one is creative abundance. And what you'll see here is outside of this big circle, with all these other stages inside of it, outside of the circle is this little red dot, and it's below survival mode. And this is the crisis phase. So I was speaking about this in my TEDx talk. And when it comes out, I will definitely share it with you guys. So I know you're going to be sending me emails of when. It'll take a few weeks, but I will definitely let you know when that happens. So this little red dot is crisis phase, right? So people often will come to me and say, Heather, I want to write a book, or I have a vision of like starting my own business, or I want to go back to work, or I want to leave my job. I want to travel the world. I want to, deepen my relationship with my children. I don't want to yell anymore. I want my marriage to go to the next level. I want to get out of debt. I want to start savings. I want to buy a house. Whatever this is for you, you have these dreams, you have these desires, you have these soul aches. That's what I call them, soul aches. They were put into your consciousness for a reason. So part of this is a mindset shift. And I'm just now birthing my book. I've had this idea and concept in my being for almost 15 years. So are we paying attention? Are we listening? And I truly believe sometimes, there's a right time, not a wrong time, but there's a time when, the ease of creating some of these desires is the right time. So example, if I talk about this a lot, I do this a lot with my clients. I crave, I desire. I want a bath. I want a coffee date. I want to write a book. I want to travel the world. Well, maybe taking a bath or a coffee date are things that can happen in like the next 12 to 24 hours in your life. But maybe it can't happen. Those are things that can happen immediately. Maybe traveling the world takes some more prep time, right? So it's those desires that we have to really listen to, that we have to hold space for, and we have to pre-plan and make it happen. So with this model, survival mode, momentum, thrival state, and creative abundance, take any aspect of your life, parenting, marriage, health, money, time, energy, creativity, like every part of your being, you will be in a different aspect of your life. So when I was doing this process, when I was just starting out in personal development, I would say I was in survival mode in every aspect of my life. And a lot of the stories that I was taught, that I brought into my being, were not my stories. They were passed down from generations and generations and generations of who I needed to be and how I needed to show up in the world and how hard life needed to be. So slowly, when I started to realize that I, Heather Chauvin, am my own person and I have 100% control over my future. My husband doesn't have control over my future. My children do not have control over my future because my husband is his own being. My children are their own being, and they independently, individually have control over their future. But understanding that this is a mindset shift, that I am one individual, obviously connected to other people, and that does make an impact on the choices that I do make. But I have a choice to listen to my desires and say, I want more, right? I want more for my life, whether it's more energy or connection, money, time, energy, resources. Why? So I can give back, so I can make a difference, but also so that I can get a good night's sleep. When I started to give myself permission, this is when things started to shift. And this is when I realized that we actually do have different states of being. So I still have stories. You have stories of how you can or cannot do something. And the month of April, and I know we're still in March, but the month of April, I'm dedicating to stories, really pulling back the layers and going, what are the stories that we're telling ourselves? And how can we get out of this mindset and start manifesting the life that we want? And I'm going to be obviously teaching you different tips and strategies on how to do that. But when we're really focused on stories, what we're doing is realizing how we are causing some of our own suffering in our lives. So if you're seeing this live, and if you're not, because you're listening to it on a podcast and you want to see this live, then just, like I said, go to my website, heatherchauvin.com, and you're going to see the Facebook button there. Just click on that. Once you join the Facebook group, you can fast forward and watch this video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Survival, thrival, momentum, creative abundance. You can grow and expand and become the next version of yourself. But within every level, you will have your own stories. And to break through to the next level, we need to consciously and courageously rewrite our stories and who we think we need to become. So in April, like I said, we're going to be talking about stories, but I'm dedicating it, and I'll be talking more about this on the podcast and in this group, to a complaint-free month. I'm catching myself now going, oh, okay, it's not April yet. I can complain. I'm like, oh, my husband's talking in the background. I thought he was talking to me. Complain about life, right? Oh, it's not sunny enough. It's too hot. It's too cold. oh, this. Oh, I don't have this yet. I don't have that yet. Right. One of the beautiful stories that I heard at TEDx was from this man who's like award-winning cinematographer, born in Thailand, absolutely came from nothing, immigrated to Canada, house burnt down, like had nothing again, the sense of community, and just fell in love with photography and dedicated his work to traveling around the world. He worked in war zones, he worked with Anderson Cooper, and this man was so humble, and just talking about stories and watching how he's come from so much adversity and just thriving and getting to the next stage in his life, and continuously pulling back the curtains, pulling back the layers, discovering more about himself of how he can just be and expand and grow. And it's people like that who inspire me to realize that we have so much possibility as human beings. We have so much possibility as women. I think we can rule the world, and not in a very like overpowering way. But I think we're living in a time now, if you're watching anything online or in the news, the movements are happening, and we're starting to use our voice and take a stand for how we truly want to feel and show up in our lives. But nobody's going to do that for you. It's really you taking a stand. So, just to recap, we have these 4 levels of our being, and we can get to the next one. But in order to get to the next level, we need to become a different version of ourselves. The thrival state, momentum, survival, or sorry, thrival. I'm going to repeat these again: survival mode, momentum, thrival state, and creative abundance. Where in your life do you find you're complaining the most? Because we got it good, guys. If you have internet connection, if you have the opportunity to listen to this podcast, you also have the opportunity to make change in your life. You have so much information at your fingertips, and every day we just let it go. A quick Google search, you can figure anything out, but it's acting on it. What are you willing to do? Who are you willing to become to get to the next phase and stage of your life? I'm a huge advocate of journaling, and I know so many of you resist it, but quick pen to paper, asking yourself, what are my stories that are holding me back? What are the stories that are holding me back? The ones that I feel so comfortable in, the ones that, ooh, yeah, it's just, if I get rid of it, who am I going to be? Who am I if life is easy? Who am I? Right? Oftentimes when I'm working with women and we take away that struggle, we take away that story, they're left with, this is easy. Oh my gosh, this is actually more terrifying, because in my life, it's never felt easy. And so I'm here to help you rewire that. So today, your action step: write down those shitty stories, the ones that do not feel good in your being. And in the next week or so, next few days, you're going to be hearing from me. We're going to keep pulling back the layers of how do we rewire ourselves with these stories. But step 1 is identifying, what are these shitty stories that I'm telling myself in the first place. All right, guys, you got this. Mom is in Control is about helping you recreate and plan and co-create with the universe the life that you truly want to be living. And if you can't do it for you, you have to do it for somebody else. What is your big why? Talk soon.